Hey, Sabrina, so talk to us about SEO. How can we utilize this, or what advice, suggestions, or methods can you give us that will help actually attract new patients through SEO?
Great question. When we talk about effective, local SEO strategies for both new and established dental practices, the list essentially never ends. It's always ongoing. There's always more to do, right?
Mhm.
So today I'd kind of really like to talk about boosting your local dental presence, not just in that immediate market, but the potential to expand into surrounding markets. I'd love to kind of just start with the one and only Google business profile, right? So optimizing your Google business profile is the best strategy for enhancing your local SEO and increasing brand awareness in that target area, right?
Mhm.
So I'd love to kind of just talk about some known ranking factors. First, of course, pretty self-explanatory. This is going to be your practice name and your location. We want to make sure that your practice name reflects that of your website as well as your address to make sure that, name brand consistency is key, right? Second, we're going to dive into a little bit more of the fun stuff. So this includes primary and secondary categories. So what is a primary category? So this essentially will explain your dental practice as a whole, right? This is known to be one of the top ranking factors that goes into ranking your business on Google. Dentists can choose from about 13 different primary categories. So this is anything from, dental clinic to dental hygienist to cosmetic dentistry. Where do you start with these, right? There's so many to choose from. Our recommendation and mine always is, unless you're a specialty practice like pediatric, cosmetic, the most effective primary category that you're going to want to go for is dentist. Why is that? Why do we want to just do dentist? It seems a little bit more basic, right? So the term dentist almost always has more search volume, right? So for example, if you're in a new area, you're searching for a dentist, chances are you're going to start with those core dental keywords like dentist near me, dentist around me, right? So we want to make sure that, we're really optimizing your Google business profile in line with both your practice's values as well as what's really highly searched in your area. So secondary categories, right? You get a maximum of 9 different extra categories to put on your Google profile, which is also insane. Of course, these secondary categories, they don't hold as much weight as your primary, but it's still really important to build these categories out. So kind of where to start with this, right? My main thing is pick the ones that really make most sense to you. If you do teeth whitening, add that. If you offer emergency dentistry services, add that as well. Also, a pro tip from Sabrina Truly, this is from me. There's some really awesome Chrome extensions that you can add to your web browser to see exactly what secondary categories your competitors are choosing. So this way, if there's a competitor, they're ranking number 1 for dentists near me in your area, you can actually see what primary category they're using and what secondary categories they're using. So there's a lot of really awesome research tools that you can also hone in on your competition while also making sure you're focusing on your practice's values.
Nice. Real quick, I wanted to ask where do we add these secondary, where can we find that? And then where can we find the Chrome extensions?
Yeah, for sure. So for the secondary categories, all you're going to go to your Google business profile. It's going to be right under that primary category. So it'll be add additional categories. So you can go ahead and just hit that and add up to 9 extra categories. So this is also really great if you want to give your profile a little bit more boost on those other categories. And then for Chrome extensions, all you have to do is go to the extensions. You can just type it right into Google. You can say extensions and a Chrome extension, GMB Spy, which now it's GPB. But GMB Spy is a really awesome tool to use. It essentially will analyze competitors. All you have to do is search them in the local map pack, click on them, and it'll show them all that data.
Interesting. Okay, awesome.
So let's talk a little bit more about attributes. Attributes are really important as well when you're ranking, right? So including from the business attributes. So identifications of your business, if you're a woman-owned dental practice, if you're veteran-owned, it's really important to add these to your profiles, of course, not just if people are searching for them, but also to differentiate your practice. This includes also service offerings in the attributes section as well. So kind of diving into whether or not your practice offers online care, if your practice offers language assistance. These are also really great differentiators that can help you stand out from your competition. Heading on to reviews. So it's known that you should have a maximum of 10 reviews to see a ranking boost, right? Now, if you're in a really competitive area, chances are those established practices, if you're a new practice, are going to have hundreds of reviews. So it's really important to come up with a consistent strategy for gaining those reviews naturally and consistently. And then, of course, we all know this, number 5, service offerings. Add all applicable service offerings that your practice offers. This is anything from dental cleanings, dental crowns, dental implants. If you offer it, add it. There are a lot of other really important factors when it comes into, optimizing your Google Business profile. But, the ones, of course, that we discussed, and I'm sure that you've heard over and over again, this is a really great starting point for your practice. So I'd kind of love to get into expanding your local SEO presence with Geo Pages. So this is a really interesting thing and something I think a lot of practices don't really utilize as much. So let's say you're a dental practice and you're really crushing your primary market, right? And you're looking to expand into surrounding markets near your location. This is where Geo Pages, aka this is just a really fancy name for targeted location page. So with these targeted location pages, practices can actually begin to show up outside of their primary market. And of course, before I jump into this, it's always important to note that SEO will always work best in your primary market where your practice is physically located. However, that doesn't mean that ranking outside of your market is impossible. And factors are all determined by, what your competition is like, as well as where you're located. So let's kind of get into what is a Geo Page. A Geo Page is a page that your site is essentially focusing on a specific service in a city that your practice isn't located in. So these pages are different from your location pages on your site. So your location pages are where your practice is actually located, right? These Geo Pages are targeting different markets in different cities. So these pages should really target keywords that are more highly searched and, services that your practice would actually like to offer to potential patients in the surrounding areas. So I love my examples. So for example, let's see your practice who's really crushing it in their primary market. We'll call that market A. Let's say you really want to start to capture clear aligner patients in a city nearby. We'll call that market B. In order to hit, your target patient goals, this is your chance to create a Geo Page. Google really loves pages that are to the point and dedicated to a specific city and service. It's honestly a really simple strategy Google does have. So creating a Geo Page titled, clear aligners in market B is a great way to start showing up on Google in this market.
If we wanted to start locating the Geo Page, where do we kind of go from there?
Yeah. Are you talking about kind of like where you're looking to expand?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question. So normally when we suggest expanding into, different markets, it's normally markets that are fairly close to the practice. And we really want to make sure that we're really authoritative and ranking really well in that primary market at first. So for example, if you're in market A, you're in a rural area, you're doing really well. And, market B is maybe, 20 to 30 miles away. And it's also a more rural area. Expanding into that market, into that new patient base is going to really help potentially drive, new patients to your practice. And now, if we're kind of talking about what content we should add to this page and where to start, it's really important to think about if you were a potential patient and you arrived on, this page, right? What would you want to see? If it's a little bit out of the way, I have to drive a little bit, I probably want to see, some directions from, that location to, the practice. I'd also like to see what makes that dental practice different from maybe others that are already in my area that are maybe offering clear aligners. So really showcasing your practice is going to be the best way to help drive new patients from other markets.
Okay, that's good. So then anything else on Geo Page?
Honestly, offering something special, making it special to that people will drive, will call, will come to your practice is the bottom line.
What have you seen, Sabrina, from your area of expertise? Like, this is the offer. Speaking from or looking at it from a general, because for example, if it's like a dentist, right, or somebody in the dental industry, we're easily like 5% off, 10% off. Oh my gosh, that's a great deal. But if we're just walking down the street and we see it, we're not going to be like, oh my God, 10% off. Or we're looking at it, right? 10% off my first exam. Yes, it's not as enticing. So to you, what have you seen where it's like, these are the offers that we've seen work really well?
Yeah, I think having free consultations is a really great benefit. And maybe even having consultations that, patients can schedule virtually. I think if your practice is a little bit out of the way, it'd be great if a patient could, see your face virtually versus having to drive all that way. I also think something that is really important to have is having before and afters on those pages. Any practice can take so much money off and, have all these great offers, but really showcasing your work and what you do is going to make me as a patient feel like, oh, they do really great work. They know what they're doing. I'd rather go to them versus another practice that maybe is giving me a better offer because I know for a fact that they're going to do a great job.
And you want us to showcase these before and afters on the Google My Business page, or?
You can showcase it on the Google My Business page. You can showcase it on your site, on these Geo pages, really anywhere that you expect people that are going to actually come to these pages, right? You want to really showcase who you are as a practice.
Gotcha. Do you think, I know as we rewind a little bit, we talked about putting the attributes, reviews, service offerings, right? We want to mention everything. Does it kind of apply to how mail and postcards, they're like, hey, just give us your 4 best things, right? If you put everything on that postcard, then do you feel like it applies here too, or no, we should put everything on here?
I think when it comes to services, put everything, because that's going to be the main ranking factor in terms of if people are searching any type of service in your area, right? So for example, if you add dental checkups, but maybe you don't add dental cleanings on your site, Google might be like, oh, well, they didn't actually add dental cleanings. Maybe they actually don't offer it, even though you offer dental checkups, right? So it's really important and for Google to be as specific as possible, because that's what essentially is going to, drive more people to see that you're offering these services.
Gotcha. Okay. And so any final advice for the listener listening right now who wants to optimize their SEO? They're going to start doing this, which you said, but any final advice?
Yeah, I think really starting from square one is going to be the best bet for you. There are so many different things that you can do, and it can be, of course, overwhelming at times, but really honing in on, your Google business profile, being active on there, consistently updating it is going to really help with just driving local traffic. And then, of course, trying new things. If you see that maybe Geo pages are something that you want to do, and maybe you're looking to expand into a new market, try these Geo pages out. See if you can rank in another area. It's really fun to try, different things and different strategies. That's, the brilliance of SEO and what we do every day, because some things might not work in certain areas that they work in others, but it's really important to just be creative and try different ideas while also, honing in on things that actually do still work.
Awesome. Awesome, Sabrina. I appreciate your time. And if anyone has further questions, you can definitely find her on the Dental Marketer Society Facebook group, or where can they reach out to you directly?
Yeah, you can reach out to me at my email. I work at Wonderist Agency. So, we can totally link my email in here. That would be great.
Awesome. So guys, that's going to be in the show notes below as always. And Sabrina, thank you so much for being with me on this Monday morning marketing episode.
Thank you so much.